Batteries are part of my emergency preparedness plan. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. I love the way they make my radio or my flashlights work. I hate that they either go bad or they need to be maintained to keep them working properly. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 different rules that I try to follow to keep my batteries always ready. You just got to get prepared. Let me start by saying that all batteries go bad. If you use them, they go bad. If you don't use them, they go bad. Or at least that's been my experience. If you've had other experiences, I'd love to know what you're doing. Because I love the convenience of battery-powered devices, I accept the fact that the batteries are going to go bad. And so I play the game. But I try to play it smart, and these are the 4 rules that I try to follow. Rule number 1, do not keep disposable batteries in your devices. Like I mentioned, they will go bad and they will ruin your device. So unless you like disappointment, don't do this. Rule number 2, have battery options. I'm going to share with you 4 different ways on how I store power. The first option that I want to look at are disposable batteries. If you know what your devices need, those could be the type of batteries that you store. So that is a AAA. So I have AAA batteries here that I am storing. I also have a variety of other type of batteries just because you never know what you might need. So I do kind of try to keep a variety, but I also try to keep them in the original packaging. I found that they just last longer. But I do have to open some up so that we can use them around the house. And I try to store them in a way just like the manufacturer stored them, because I found that if I just throw them into a box, they seem to go dead a lot more quickly. So I try to store them just like that. The other thing about disposable batteries is that when they are done being used, they are dead. Dispose of them properly, and you are going to be out of power. So that's what the other options are going to talk about. Option 2 are rechargeable batteries. Again, know your device and then store or have those type of rechargeable batteries to be used with them. What's great about these is that they work with my charging system. If you haven't checked out that video, I'll leave a link below for you to see that. But just the different ways that these can be plugged in and recharged so they're always ready for you. One other thing that I like to do with these is I store these neat little AA containers so that if you need to turn a AAA battery into a AA battery, you just put that inside of there. And now that is a AA battery. If you are interested in learning more about the things I'm sharing here today, I'll leave links in the description for you to be able to go and check those things out. The third option are power banks. These are these neat little devices that store power inside of them. Again, they work with the charging system so they can be recharged, and they come in different sizes. This is a 5,000, a 10,000, and then I have a 20,000. Just depending upon what your family's needs are, it's great to have a variety so that you can have different options. How I would use these power banks in an emergency situation is at home, I would keep them plugged into the wall so that they're charged and ready to go. In an evacuation, I would have my car charger where I'd be able to charge them from there. And then we would also have the solar panel to be able to keep them charged. So during the day, I would charge them. And then during the night, I would be able to recharge my devices. And they're very simple to use. So here's a flashlight that is rechargeable. And you just plug the USB into there. And now this flashlight is being charged from this power bank. And so that's a great way to store power and to be able to use it in your emergency preparedness. A newer power bank that I've been experimenting with this winter is a 5,000 milliamp power bank, but it is also a hand warmer. And I have been surprised at how warm these are able to get, and to be able to have that ability to recharge a hand warmer and also be able to have it as a power bank. So just something to check out and take a look at. The fourth option that I want to talk about are devices that actually have the batteries built in. And this is actually kind of my first line of defense. If the power goes out, you may have one of these little devices that has a plug, so you keep it in your wall, and when the power goes out, this turns on. So what this allows me to do is be able to use this flashlight to get to my devices and to be able to put batteries into them and have more lighting options. Also, I have my cell phone that kind of does a similar thing, but this is a neat way that you can keep a device that's always ready to turn on and close at hand with this fun little Energizer light. There are a few of these devices that I like to keep around because I like the features that they have. This particular one, it's a lantern or it is a flashlight, And then it also has the ability to charge from the sun with that solar panel on the backside. So that is a light that I keep. Another one that I've liked is very similar. It is this one from Thorfire. It is, again, the lantern or the flashlight. And what I really like about this one is that it has the ability to have this dynamo crank handle, so you can actually charge it or charge other devices by using this dynamo system on it. So a few different devices that have the internal battery that can be recharged. But again, when the battery goes bad, these devices are no longer useful to me, and I will just dispose of them properly. But so far, it's been a few years and they're still working great. Again, rule number 2 was to have battery options. I hope this helped you to see how many different kinds of batteries there are out there, and hopefully help you to see what you might want to store for your emergency preparedness plan. Rule number 3 is use your batteries. They're going to go bad whether you use them or you don't, so you might as well get your money's worth. Don't save them for a rainy day. As you set up your charging station, you're going to want to figure out ways that you can use these in your daily life, whether that's taking them camping or to work or the kids to school or whatever is going on. Figure out a way to let these be a part of your life. They go out for the day and they come home at night and get charged back up. And if you keep that with your emergency preparedness gear, then whenever this situation takes place, all of your devices will be there, they'll be ready for you, and you will have one place where those battery and devices will be. Rule number 4 is replace your batteries and devices as needed. Because you are now using these in your daily life, you're going to recognize that maybe this thing has gone bad. So we dispose of it and we replace it or choose something else. Or some of your battery things no longer charge your devices like they had been in the past. So you realize that this has gone bad. So again, we replace it. So this will help you to be aware of your electronics, how they're working, and know if they're good to keep or if you need to replace them. I hope that this gives you a good overview of how you can keep your batteries working for you and how to kind of create this charging system that can be part of your emergency preparedness plan. And once again, I'd like to thank you for your time, and may God bless you as you prepare every needful thing. Thank you.